Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chesswise. Today we are going to look at a practical endgame and it is a case of effective versus ineffective pawn majority. Let's have a look at this diagram here. We see that black has captured with his d pawn on c6, that has brought his 4 pawns on these 3 files, and we can see that white also has 3 pawns in front of black's 4 pawns. So what happens in this case? If the pawn would have captured from b to c6, the d pawn still could have become a passer. But now with the capture of d pawn on c6, what has happened? Basically the extra pawn cannot become a passer now. But on the other hand, if we see white has 4 pawns on proper 4 files which are faced by 3 black pawns. It means the extra pawn, that is the e pawn here, in front of which there is no enemy pawn, that becomes the passed pawn. So what happens here is there are few counter chances that black has. He tries to create a passed pawn, but with proper play all the attempts fail and white is able to get his own passer, and then eventually the technique we will see how he is able to win the game. It's white to play position. White starts the game with the move f4. Obvious move. The pawn protects e5. He is ready to push f5 and at the same time he makes place for the king. We know the most important endgame principle is centralize the king. So white is going to get his king to the center. Black played kd7, king f2, ke6, ke3, and black here played king f5, trying to stop ke4. White plays kf3. Very simple and effective. He takes the opposition. He wants to play g4, push the king away, play the king to e4 and play f5, and then create a passed pawn. Black plays the move h5. Now a very important phase has occurred here. White wants to play h3 g4, but if he goes for the move h3 instantly, it turns out to be a blunder, because then black gets h4 and after g4 there will be h into g3 n%, and winning the game would be very difficult. Black may even get the move g5 instantly over there. So white has to play with proper technique. He plays the move g3. Now g3 stops the move h4, not in the sense that we will get the pawn for free, but after h4 we will have g4 check without having to face hg3 n%, and king will have to move away. King will eventually come to e4. So white goes g3. Now black starts playing on his main side, which is his where his extra. Now black starts playing on that side where his extra pawn exists. So he goes c5, h3, c4, g4 check, h takes g4, h takes g4, ke6, ke4. Black played the move b5 here, and white, who could have easily played the move f5 followed by kd5, chooses first to go c3. This pawn structure is very important. The idea is that after c5 or even the move a5, whenever black gets b4, white will do nothing but just play a3 on that move or one move later. We should not allow this tactical idea. Basically, black should not get the move a3 this way, which will make the position often losing, because what happens here is cb allows black to get a passed pawn, and after ba there can be the move bc3, when even black might win the game. So as soon as the pawn reaches a4, white will look to play the move a3, and then here all the pawns will get fixed and eventually the king will land on d5. This is what happens in the game. Let's see how the game proceeds. Black goes a5, f5 check, kd7, a3. After the c5 there is the move king d5. So black goes c6. Now white plays kd4. Now we can make out that it is almost impossible for black to stop the move e6. Soon he will be in a zugzwang. After kc7, kc5, kd7, white can just play the waiting move g5. Again forcing kc7, e6, f takes e6, f takes e6, and eventually we see that all the black pawns on the queen side will be lost. Let's say kd8, then king takes c6, ke7, king takes b5, ke6, king takes c4, kf5, and here white can choose between kd3 or kd5. kd3 is very safe, his own king can reach the f1 square and the c pawn can move. After kg5 there is c4, king f5, c5, ke5, b4, a takes b4, a takes b4, kd5, and just king e3. The king will approach the g pawn and the black king meanwhile has to remain in front of the white pawns, and white wins easily. There was one more variation where black would have played the move f5 himself. We will have look at that as well. It should be noted that if black tries to close the position with the move f5 instead of playing king f5, then white should not play kd4 or something like g3 or h3 g4, but instantly take n%. This makes his task much easier. King takes f6, ke4, ke6, g4. The play will resemble like the previous line, and here only difference will be that white will have an f passer, and then eventually he will go towards the black queen side and he will win the game. Let's see the moves without much analysis. c5, g5 check, king f6, king f4, h6, h4. This time white is all set to play g5, c6, g5, h takes g5, h takes g5, kf7, ke5, ke7. Now the main stage of the game has been set up. White wants to play f6 at the right moment. Before creating the passer, we should close the queen side first. So for that here white can do the move c4, b5. As discussed before, we will just block the position after a5 with a4, and we see that black has to either play b4 or takes ba. Anyway we close the position in both the cases. And now after kd7 or kf7, both we have f6, g takes f6, g takes f6, king f8, and now ke6, ke8, f7 can also be played, but no need to bring the opponent king near the pawn. White plays kd6, kf7, king takes c5, kf6, kc6, ke6, c5, ke7, kb7, and the white pawn promotes by force. So having knowledge of this structure of 4 versus 3 pawns on the same file can be very useful in dealing with practical endgames, especially the king and pawn endgames. That can help us take many important decisions related to exchanging in the middle game. I hope you will find the lesson useful and instructive. Thanks for your time.